Bert Allen here chatting with Benjamin Levy Aguilar Torres, Chicago PD. I'm so excited. We've had so many of your castmates on, and we've been excited to talk to you. You have a big episode coming out tonight. This is a huge one, and we've seen your character. We've gotten to know him a little bit. But this episode that we're going to see is a huge reveal into your past even more, and we get to know you better. How does it feel as a storyteller to have this episode coming out and for the fans to get to know who Torres is, Ocean, a little bit better?
Well, I'm actually particularly excited about this one because I am the type of actor that likes to commit my entire time, and I really try to. I mean, I guess we all do that, but I really try to get to the core of the truth. And for some reason, this episode was parallel to a lot of things that was really tough for me to access. And
Okay.
at least while doing it, I got there and I felt it, and I feel excited. I have been excited for this one to come out particularly, and it finally, the day is now. So I haven't seen it. I don't know if I want to see it. Maybe I'll see it. I'll watch it once. But I'm actually really excited to give this to the fans.
Yeah, I mean, you know that your show, all these shows have the best fans in the world. I mean, they're just
Yeah, they're
massive.
amazing.
And when we did the upfront or the fall premiere kickoff last year, your
Hmm.
co-star Jason McGay talked about you and how we were going to get to know you a little bit better, and how you were coming in what was to be a major cast change. They weren't talking about that, but mostly just to see your character. And I normally like to ask how you got this job, but I have to ask. So you were on another episode in another season back in, I think the sixth or seventh, and now here you are again. Obviously, two different characters. Is
Yeah.
that how they knew you and how this job came about for you? Okay.
Yes, actually, yeah. It was I had just booked my a role as a it was my first audition, and I booked a show called Filthy Rich, and
Oh
I shot
yeah.
a pilot. Yeah, I shot the pilot in New Orleans, and when I came back and we were waiting for it to get picked up, I did my second audition, which was Chicago PD, and I booked it, and I went to Chicago and I shot that whole thing, and Jason really took attention to me, and he said, you said you have something very special, kid, and I'm not gonna forget that. And that's what he said. And he was really generous and just giving me advice and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then I went on and I did my own shows and my own stories and my own, journey. And while I was shooting a movie in Guatemala, I got a call from my agent saying I had an offer for a role on Chicago PD. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't understand because I had, but it was they had kept me in mind, and they said, yeah, if you want to shave your head, because I had my long curly hair, like
Okay.
long curly Jewish hair, I might say, and they were like, if you want to shave your head and be in Chicago on Wednesday, then the role is yours. And they were trying to look for that character, but they always would come back to me. Not just Jason, but other people that had worked with me on the seventh season. And when I got there in Chicago, Jason said, "I told you I wasn't gonna forget you,"
Wow.
and uh, and yeah, and that was meant to be a guest star. It wasn't
Okay.
meant to be a series regular, but we had dinner with Jason, and he talked more extensively about how he wanted me to be involved on the show, and eventually NBC sent me an offer, like a legitimate offer.
Wow, that is so crazy how
Yeah,
this world works. I mean, it's so
it's
different, I
crazy.
think, than anybody else would ever be familiar with. So we
Yeah.
meet your character. He's in the academy. Like PJ's character, he gets picked out because of
Hmm.
your attention that you get from Jesse's character at the time.
Hmm.
We kind of get led down a path that you could potentially be something that you're not, but it turns out that's not the case. But now we're learning more and more about your character. From when we first meet you, Torres's character, or your character Torres, to now, I always like to ask your castmates this too. Like, how has
Yeah.
he changed? Like from when we first meet him to now, just from like whether it's a personal point of view or just
Hmm.
some backstory that you've created as a storyteller. You know, maybe it's something that's been used or hasn't been used, but I find that part curious because he has changed significantly, especially with
Hmm.
this episode that we're getting tonight.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that there's so much growth in, well, one in the sense that he's starting to care for these people, um, and I actually feel like he wants to protect them and learn from them. And there's also these maybe moments of uh, of his past life that were um, maybe out of character, or in that thin line of like, you know, am I could be willing to do anything if it
Right.
meant for the right reasons, type of thing. And now they're starting to resurface. That's what I've experienced. It's like all of a sudden now I'm resurfacing to like pa- fighting for what you believe in,
Yeah.
or fighting for the people you love, can get you in those places where you could cross some lines, you know,
Yeah,
and
I think
that could
we've
be
seen that
scary
with
for
a few
everybody.
of your, yeah, I agree. It's interesting. We've seen that in bits and
Hmm.
pieces with some characters, but I
Yeah.
always think it's fun when the shows allow us to peek into that world of
Hmm.
personal life and police life sort of crossing each other dangerously in a sort of way.
Yes,
So at
absolutely.
the end of the day, as a storyteller, you get to play different characters. This one, of course, is huge for you. We love watching you and just your storylines and the scenes that you share with your amazing cast, who we, again, it said at the beginning, we've had the pleasure and honor of talking to. Like, when you share these scenes, is there anybody that you haven't had the opportunity to share scenes with as much that you want to share? Not, you know, not leading the witness here, but I mean, is there, I asked Marina this the last time and she laughed, but is there anybody that you like to share scenes with the most, or that you would hope to get more scenes with as we come to a fall drop off here, you know, before the next
Yeah.
set of episodes?
I mean, I've loved everyone I've worked with. I've done episodes with Leroyce that have been amazing. With oh my God, I loved working with Patrick. He's such a generous actor. Um, I guess the person that I've worked with the least is Marina.
Okay.
Um, that being said, honestly, story wise, and I would love to work with Jason more, because I think they actually have a lot of things in common,
Yeah.
and I think that besides Jesse, there's something to learn there. I mean, there's a lot to learn from Jason's character, and it also parallels a lot of my relationship with Jason outside of the show, you know. So, and I just think he's such a present actor. He's so there,
Hmm.
that it would just make for very good stories.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of similarities between the two of you. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
in this episode that we're getting tonight, New Life,
mm,
I think we see that the most. There's one scene in
yeah.
particular, I don't want to spoil it, where some things
Mhm.
are happening. He happens to be there. And instead of intervening, he just kind of watches to see what you're going to do, which makes it
Ooh,
really
yeah,
hardcore. But I
yeah.
digress. Well, congratulations. It's Benjamin. It's
Thank
been a pleasure. I've been looking forward to
Thank you.
talking to you for a couple seasons now. And when the
Thank
opportunity
you.
came from your team, I was like,
Hmm.
absolutely. Congratulations. This is a big
Thank you, Brett.
episode for you tonight. Thank you so
Appreciate
much. And
it.
congratulations on all your success. It's great to see you on the show, and it's a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate yours. Thank you so much, Brett. I
Absolutely.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.